Well, we are in a brand new weekend. It's actually the first weekend of September, and I've had a blast so far. It's just a few days, but I must say thank you. September has been magnificent to me. And September is also special to me because we are celebrating Amerindian Heritage Month. As you can see, I'm wearing my headpiece. This headpiece was designed for me by Natasha Davis, who's an indigenous designer, along with Vanda and some others. But oh my God, she actually did this for me for Miami Carnival last year, and oh my God, I got so many compliments right through. People were like, "Oh my, where can I get your headdress? Which band are you in?" I wasn't in any band. We were just together as a group from the Women in Business Expo, and I just wanted a headdress that was different, and I definitely stood out. And I'm definitely going to miss Sophia, the exhibition site, with all the authentic casrib and cassava bread, and I just love to go and to sample all the indigenous dishes and so on. So I'm going to miss that, but we have some virtual events. I'm actually posted a poster with some of the times that they're going to be on. So we at this point we really have to enjoy that. But we have two phenomenal personalities from the indigenous community. Oh gosh, they both have impressed me for a while, and I know they will impress you too because they have amazing, amazing, amazing stories. This week, how the week just went so quickly. This week I was wrapping up actually the second day of the virtual writers retreat, and this week now I'm here again, beyond the runway. I'm your hostess, Sonia Noel. I'm actually just happy to interact and every week to come on. And I must thank all of you who've been sending messages, all of you who've been tuning in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, I have two persons in the studio, as I said, and you're going to be seeing them very soon. And I just want to leave a little word of encouragement that, you know, do not let this month pass without doing something that it's just going to take you closer to your goals. Oh, I must mention these earrings here. The person that's coming on, I just love her name. I love the meaning of her name. She's going to tell you all about it. But where she works, the wood from this earring came from this, and actually what you're seeing in the background here also, it's a place that is dear to my heart. I can't wait to go back there, and I'm going to welcome my first guest, Sabanto. I don't want to mess up her surname. She is going to actually tell us the meaning of it, and I just love the meaning. I love the name, and I love the meaning. Sabanto, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us. I was going to actually attempt. I said Sabanto, but I want you to tell them about your name. Let's start off with your name, Sabanto. I know you're Grace Roberts, but nobody really knows you're Grace Robert. Sabanto, what is the meaning of that name? Tell them before we get into anything. Tell them about that name. I love the name. Hi, Sabanto.
Okay, good evening, Sonia, and thank you for having me on this show. Yes, hello. Yes,
Yes, I'm
hello.
hearing. Yes.
Yes, good
Yeah, we're hearing
evening.
you.
Yes, good evening.
Yes,
Sonia, I
I
want
was
to say
just.
thank you first of all to have me
Thank
on this
you for
program and
coming.
our
I know you're busy.
special
Thank
month.
you.
Well,
Yes.
okay. Well, let's go straight into it. Well, my name is, as lots of people know me as Sabantutuk Grace Roberts. Sabantutuk Rojo was given to me by my late mother who passed away 2 years ago. And it has a lot of meaning and a lot of roots. And it's Lokono Arwak, and it's the meaning beautiful flower. That
Beautiful.
came from my thought I was very about working with, I would say, my own people. And at one time she said, well, you're not even local anymore because you're so attached to the Patamono people, so you might as well be Patamono also. Gave me the confidence as being only I've traveled so many across the whole of Guyana, I would say all the regions,
Oh, you know
including
what?
Region
One of
11
the
as
things that envy you for when
Georgetown.
you said across Guyana there, those 9 regions, those 10 regions that you've traversed through the 10 regions of this beautiful country. Oh my! When I was like, oh my God, all 10 regions. For you, I want to hear. Me going through Ghana is so absolutely beautiful. But like your experience, all 10 regions. Like I want you to tell me like something that comes to your mind right now that was most your best experience, where and why.
Well, my best experience was one of the first experience that I had, and I said it's in the Pacaraima Mountains, being there because I came from the riverine area, which is Kabakaburi village. We have one of the deepest rivers, the Morua, was the mountains of the Pacaraima. One morning when I got up and I had to walk Baro village to Itaba early, about 6 o'clock, that I was in between villages and also overlooking the great communities in the savannah below, like my, and I said, this is it. I have my spirituality, my connection to my people, to my work. This is when I knew that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So from since then on, I've been traveling, I've been through my work, and I must say I'm grateful for my one very other start was with Irokrama, whereby I was able to reach Region 9, and I've also traveled out through of Region 9 in both of my opportunities that I had received throughout my work experience. And many other regions. I've been to Region 7 through my work also.
Listen, Samantha, you are blessed.
Region 2, I've known Region 2. So no one can explain in a simple word how beautiful Guyana is and how beautiful communities are really, and traveling up rivers and mountains. It's an experience you will it just cannot explain in one word.
I agree with you. You have to experience it, like the earrings I'm wearing. This is from the Greenheart Bar from Irokrama. This here. This is my background here. This is from Irokrama. And as you were talking about the Pacaraimas, you know where you took me back? At the top of Turtle Mountain. As I went, that was one of my best experiences, just being up there. And you know that song, the Pacaraima Peaks of Power, you hear that song, or national song? I mean, you were talking there, and I could remember going to Lethem, the rodeo, and didn't want to come back to this. I didn't want to come back. I said I want to just get a ranch and just live here. I mean, I felt so at peace. It's absolutely beautiful. You're talking there, and I just feel that connection.
It is, because it's a dream. It's not only a dream, but it's a reality.
It's a dream for some people who haven't been, but you are so blessed to be traversing and experiencing that. I mean, it's like, as you said, you have to experience it. You can talk about it, but being there, like being in the middle, like going on the canopy walk and all those things, that I was blessed because of my girlfriend Raquel, it was amazing. But one of the things I'm interested in is the indigenous dialect. And I know I'm not going to put you on the spot to get into conversation because I won't be able to understand you, but I want you to greet us. I want you to greet us in one of the native languages.
Well, language is something, first of all, if you do not speak it quite often, you will forget it.
Yes.
And my greatest dictionary went down when my mother passed away. So it's in the morning, which she would say, saying that it's evening already. I'm trying to remember what is the meaning. Maybe some expert out there who has studied language. I mean, I haven't gone so deep down to many other words. You know, you keep forgetting. It's something like come back funny to you, and you would say nikanda, you know, something you're eating some small portions. So I said nikanda means small amounts. I have to. So those are some of the words that will stuck with me, like, you know, with me forever. So like good evening, it's difficult to come back, but I know like every morning it's Morocco, good morning, how are you? So those are some things that you will always remember. And there are many other words that I can remember. You know,
Raquel told me that
you have to keep speaking it.
Preserve the indigenous language, and I was someone is actually compiling to preserve the indigenous dialect, and I'm very happy. It's needed. We can't allow it to die. You know, it's too important too. And
yes, as you know, it's out for the. Yeah, and I should recognize also that today is International Day of Indigenous Women. So, you know, those women, I would like to just say thank you for all of your contribution, those who has contributed, Indigenous women who have contributed throughout. So I just want to wish them all the best and success. And for the younger generation, just be, and be,
Yeah, certainly paved the way.
think about where you came from, who you are, and where you want to go. So we have traveled many, many distances, and it's time for, our younger women to see and to grasp and to recognize that our culture, our language, our heritage is very important to us. It is what brought us. As I said, when I traversed the Pacaraimos, is my spirituality came back. My spirituality came back, and that has taught me more about to learn. That I catered to some other persons. That's my first step of my university.
Wow. And talking about university, I saw you had quite actually I was really impressed because it's not now that I know it, because there was one time when you came back, was it the UK? You studied in the UK, right? Was it the UK, Swanta?
Yes,
and also
yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did my master's in.
Yes, you did, and I'm so proud of you. I actually did send you a congratulatory message. But what I love, right, is I know you're beautiful flower. And they said that's affirmation, what you call your children, because you are a beautiful soul. You are indeed a beautiful flower. Because Samantha, your heart, you volunteer so much. Like every opportunity that you get, that you to volunteer, you do that. And I mean, was it what really triggered you to get this philanthropic side of you? What do you think triggered that?
Well, as a young lady growing up, because I was very at that point in my life when I came to the very first time, I loved many things, and then I realized that there are many people. When I check in the hospitals, I was going to school in Georgetown with my sister, and I will take some of her stuff and take them from books to toilet paper to anything possibly that I can find that I know that will be useful for the patients that were in Georgetown Hospital. If I cannot speak the language, and I think my heart was taller than I am. So with that, I live on to cherish and to recognize how important our contribution is, Guyana, forward and my future. I love my beautiful country, Guyana, and that is where I will stay, and this is where that has.
We are certainly blessed to be living here. Yeah. I think the internet is kind of giving a bit of problems. The internet is kind of Sabanta, you hearing? Because I think the internet. Yes, Sabanta, I think we are so blessed to be living.
Yes, I'm hearing you very clear. Yes.
Yes, the internet is going and coming. But what I connect with you by the heart, because when you do that for people, you leave quite a legacy that nobody can erase. And that's one of the things, chatting with you. I know being part of the Women Association for Sustainable Development, you also you contributed there. We coming to close. We have another phenomenal person that will be joining us. But I want you to finish this sentence for me. What if? What if?
I didn't get you clear. It's you up here.
I always ask all my guests. I always ask my guests to finish this sentence for me. What if?
And enjoy something, but what if I can do much more and give more of my heart to the community than anything else to this business? So that is what my what if I can do just more, and that will fill me.
You will. I can feel it. That's you. That's your heart. That's in your DNA. Thank you so much for joining us, and continue to enjoy Amerindian Heritage Month or Indigenous Heritage Month, whichever way you want to call it. Enjoy. I know, even though I can't go to Sophia, I know that I will have all the stuff, and I'm going to be going over by my friend Terry to get some on all of that. So I'll be enjoying myself anyway. Even if we can't go to Sophia, we still have to make the best of our celebration. because we'll be celebrating.
I
Thank
know.
you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sabato. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Sonia.
Oh wow. She is just. I mean, just a few minutes is not enough for some of the stuff that she has. And the next guest that's coming on, he has traveled the world. I mean, he has traveled across many borders. Talking about borders, we actually launched a date for the Men Across Borders anthology that will be coming out on the 30th of September. And this guy has really, especially through South America, he's going to tell you more about it. But I'm so excited to talk to him about his travels and everything else because he has been all over the place. And that is Terry. Thank you for joining me, Terry. Listen, I want to travel to those places when I grow.
Yeah,
I
good.
want to be just like you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah.
And I
Okay,
and I
thank
know
you.
you
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
different languages included.
So-
And I want you to tell me when you say thank you. You just said thank you in English. I want you to say thank you in one of the indigenous dialects for me. Tell me thank you.
well, in Akawa, you can actually say tengi. It's almost close to thank you, actually. They say
Thank
tengi.
you.
Tengi in
Thingy.
Akoi because I'm from the Akoi heritage. Yeah, tengi. I'm from the Akoi heritage. My mom was Akoi, but my dad was from a native tribe called Taurepang, which is from the Venezuelan side. So
Oh,
I do speak both of those languages, and
among others, and I
different.
found out
They're
that
quite
you're from
different, and it's like Spanish and Portuguese, or it's like Portuguese and German. It's different languages. Sometimes even the accent can be so. Okay. Things are the internet is breaking up a lot, so some of the questions you might ask me, I'm not hearing well because you're
yeah. The
breaking up. But
internet is breaking up.
I'm trying
Yes,
my
it is.
best to see if I can answer. I
But
can try my
Terry,
best
people
to
that
answer
speak
most of
different
your questions
languages,
here.
right? I always admire them so much. I'm trying now with Spanish. But I always admire people, and I always say to the young people, learn a different language. It's just so commendable. And you speak Portuguese, Spanish, English, and a few of the indigenous dialect. That is really amazing, Terry. Wow, wow, that is just truly amazing.
Yes. I think we've been gifted in my family for languages, and our I think our brains are very um, I would say like set it to learn languages. I mean, like if I
Wow,
can be in a country where I don't even speak that language, it will eventually get into my brain and I will learn it.
you have a knack.
So
You have
I
a
was in
knack for that.
situations where the very first time I did a trip to Brazil, uh, I could not speak Portuguese, and I learned Portuguese pretty much like in 2 weeks because I did an intense course of Portuguese for 3 days, where it was like 3 complete days without sleeping because I had to learn it because I was sent there to do a trip with with a group, so I had to learn it. And the worst thing to tell tourists that you cannot speak the language in the country where they're traveling. That's the worst
Yes.
thing to tell them. So I got in there like 4 days before the trip, and I enrolled myself into Portuguese classes in Rio de Janeiro, and I took off from there, and I was amazed myself. In 2 weeks, I was actually speaking Portuguese, and like I'm on the phone, and I will tell myself, "Wow, I'm speaking Portuguese." Like people are understand what I'm saying.
Because
But
you said you guys have a knack for
it
that. Some
has to
people do have, and I believe that.
it the other thing is this: once you have a lot of interest to learn something, it will get there easily once you have the interest, right? In this case, I had a group to travel with, and I was the guide. I was assigned a guide for 42 days, and we were traveling in Brazil, and I had to learn the language, and it came in very easily. Well, I speak Italian also because before I became a tour guide, I was in the Marines, Marine infantry in Venezuela, and I was in Italy because the security for the Venezuelan embassy was from the Marine infantry. So
Oh,
I had my first experience there with Italian, so I speak Italian fluently also. But
wow!
when I really look at it, Spanish and Italian are languages based on of Latin. So I understand it. You can understand quite a lot of them. So when you study it, it makes it very easy. So immediately, it was easy for me to learn those four languages, like Spanish, Portuguese, French,
Oh,
and
because they.
Italian. So I speak those four languages. Well, and English, of course.
No,
But the
I'm
most
trying with
complicated
Spanish.
one is the native languages because
I'm trying with Spanish, and I'm hoping.
yes, the native
really.
languages are quite difficult. Spanish is quite difficult because there's a shortage of words. So sometimes one word can mean
And then
three
the
different
male and
things.
the
So that is why
female, like they
you
have
might
the
find it
male
very difficult.
addressing the male and the female, like it's different.
Yes, they have words, which makes it a lot more complicated even.
That's what I'm finding
So
out.
there's shortage of words. Yeah, so for instance, your fingers and your toes both are called toes. So like the toes of your hands and the toes of your feet.
Oh
In
yes,
English, you cannot confuse that. It's either fingers or toes. But in Spanish, there's shortages of words, so they call the fingers of your hand and the fingers of your feet, right? Just to show you, there's shortage of words, so it makes it a lot more complicated than English, because
Terry,
English is very perfect and is the most perfect language.
You made a point about language, how you guys have a knack for language, but you guys seem to have a knack for cooking, because you and your brother, like you guys can cook up a storm. I mean, the tumo. I just hope that Ricky comes around to get some tumo for this season. You guys are amazing cooks, chefs, I would say. Oh my gosh, really. So it's not just language. You guys are really
Well,
great in the kitchen.
okay. I will tell you about the cooking here. It comes from our family. Well, I'm from Region 7, a small village
Which
called
I am
Warmadang.
from too. I'm Region
This Upper
7, but this is
Mazaruni.
I'm from Bartica.
Region 7. Well, you're from Bartica, I'm from Upper Mazaruni.
Yeah.
It's a small village called Warmadang. This is where we were living when we were kids. And we were brought up in the family where we were taught to cook, to clean, to wash. My mom even taught us to
That's
knit.
amazing.
I could knit, make these
That's
crochet.
amazing.
I can do that. My mom taught that. So my mom taught my sisters also that, like, they have to learn a bit of carpentry. They said, in case you're married and you have to learn to do everything. You can help your wife to knit, do the crochet. I can do that because my mom showed me since I was a kid. So I think it brought up well in terms of cooking was one of the main things that we have days assigned when we have to cook for the family. So it comes from a very young age we know to cook. And
I think
eventually get to the stage we have
mom was a very wise woman.
Yeah, both of my dad also scored, of course, was behind that also.
Mm-hmm.
So we have sometimes competitions of cooking. Who cook the most delicious cook up? Who cook the most delicious tumo pot?
Well, you
eventually it came part of our
like, your cook up is the champion. So your cook up, and I can attest to that. I've had it a few times. But Terry, I am so intrigued by your travels. I mean, if you had an opportunity in a heartbeat to go back at one of the many places you've been, what would that be and why? Where would it be and why?
Okay, in all my travels I've done in South America, mostly I'm specialized in South America. I've done pretty much the only country I've never been to is French Guiana in South America. I've been to all the rest of the countries in South America. And I would say it's quite a hard question because each country has something special to offer. Mm-hmm. So I would say it's quite a difficult question because I mean, each country have their own highlights.
The others.
So yes, I would say my heart will stay in Peru because I worked and lived in Peru for 2 years, where I traveled what we call the Altiplano, the jungle. I traveled the coast, and even to Machu Picchu, where I've guided in those areas. And Peru is very diverse, and it's a country where the infrastructure for tourism is so well designed. It makes it a tour guide's paradise, because you send an email to make reservations to hotel, you'll get like response immediately.
Wow.
And tourist information is all over. It's difficult in Guyana. You make a reservation to a hotel, they'll respond to you in a week, 2 weeks. It's difficult here. Here, phone calls don't make a change, nor emails. You have to go personally to the front desk in hotels in Guyana to make a reservation. We're in Peru. You write an email and you will pretty much get a response immediately with reservations. Wow. So apart from being very diverse in tourism, different things there, the history is very, very good. The food is good in Peru. Actually, Peru are in the books where they have the most diverse food in the world. Wow. Cuisine is well known around the world. They can make so many different types of dishes, and the food is good. I would say
Peru. I'd have to go there. You're making me want to go. You're making me want to go there. Oh, is it the internet giving us some problems? Terry, did it stick? Yeah, it seems as though the internet is giving us some problems. Yes, that was Terry Gonzalez. He's an international tour leader, tour guide. He's just so amazing. I wanted to come back in because I want to find out some other things about his travel, because seeing that we can't travel a lot, I do virtual travels right now, and I want his. Terry, are you coming back in? I think I lost Terry there. Yes, it's the internet. So many people are online now, and we've been having problems actually all day today. But yes, I do. I love to travel. I can travel now. So what I do is let me get him back to the stream.
It went off. The internet went off. I don't know what's happening. So
yes, I noticed the internet. Yes, it went off. I was just saying that I do virtual travels now because I can't travel. And you're such a tour leader, not even a tour guide. You're a leader in the industry. And I was talking about the virtual travels, like we've seen that we can't travel and stuff like that. So Terry, I mean, it's like I would really love to have a tour with you in a virtual scenario. Because why? Because you know it so well. You've been to so many places. You can make comparisons. You have a wealth of knowledge. I would love to be on something that you directing in terms of going a place that I have never been, because through our conversations, I've been to places through our conversations that I haven't been, and I know how great you are because I can picture it when you talk it. Oh boy, it's going again. But I would love him to do let us do something online one day when I invest. Yes, Terry. Oh, you back on? And I know Venezuela is your second. Right? We're talking about travels and so on, but I want to touch before we leave about you lived in Venezuela for a large part of your life.
Well, I've lived in Venezuela for most of my life. I was born in. Yeah, most of my life I live in Venezuela. I would say I lived over there for almost 33 years. And most of my education came from over there. I left immediately after high school. After high school, actually, I went to GTI where I mastered in electronics. And I was a very curious person since I was a kid. I used to loose up my dad's radio. I would loose up the torchlight. I'm a very curious person. So I actually got distinction in biology and geography when I left high school. And my mom, being a nurse and a midwife, she was trying to get me to study medicine at the time. I was never interested in medicine because I was more like, no, I wanted to do electronics because this is what I wanted to do. So I went to GTI where I mastered in electronics, and afterwards I immigrated to Venezuela. This was in the 80s. And when I got to Venezuela, over there, the national service is mandatory. You have to go to the army. Once you're 17 plus and 18, you have to serve the army over there. I did not go voluntarily. I was recruited into the army. I mean, I was hiding for some time, but I was arrested and just taken to the army, like by force, I would say, where I served in the Marine Infantry. After leaving there, it's 2 years of army training. Then after I left there, I went and worked as a undercover detective because the commander I used to work with in the army, I was specialized in the army as a bodyguard and driver. So after I left, I graduated from Marine Infantry. He recommended me to the police department. His friend who was in charge of he was the commissioner of police. He said, okay, I have a good guy here, very qualified, speaks English, and I really want him to work with you. So he recommended me to this commander where I work as undercover cop in Bensville for a few years.
Terry,
quite challenging because
you have a wealth of knowledge and careers. Wow.
Well, I'm a jack of all trade. I can do many things. I mean, apart now, my new business is refrigeration right now. So right now, I fix cars and fix domestic refrigeration.
That you certainly have blessed hands, because I know that and then you love it too. That is important. But Terry, what I want, oh boy, Terry's this internet is really
so that is why I do so many different things.
I'm gonna have to have Terry back on, because this internet and Sabanto, both of them. Yes, Terry, before you go, because this internet is, yes. I want to ask the question, what if? I want you to before you go, what if? Could you finish that sentence to me, please? What if?
What if? What if I was to go back to my young age? What if I was to return to be younger? I will do the same. I will do tourism. My passion is tourism. I love tourism. I love shopping. I love to show and teach people about nature and my culture. So I would.
And what if you create a tour that you can take us to places that we haven't been? That's what if, right? I can't wait for that one, Terry. I can't wait for that
I'm
one.
working
Please do.
Because of the pandemic.
Please do.
Yeah, because of this pandemic now, there's.
I'll definitely bring you back. Yes, please do.
Yes, of course. I'm proud to be here and share. I haven't even spoken not even a quarter of my experience.
I know, I'll bring you back. Our time is up. Because this internet just really messed us up today. But you know what?
Yeah, it was very unstable today.
The internet. And you will be back. Can't wait for that tour. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you, Sabanta. Thank you so much for joining me today as we continue to celebrate Amerindian Heritage Month. To the people of the ministry who are working very hard to bring a virtual presentation, thank you so much. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you for joining us. Let us continue to celebrate. Let us continue to support each other. During this month, you'll see a lot of the Men Across Borders, the co-authors of Men Across Borders. You will be highlighting them all month, and some of them will actually be on the show. Whatever you do, just be good to you and be good to others as we continue to celebrate the first weekend in September. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.